So I've been slacking a little bit. I've had a few days where I've just been, well, I'm not slacking. I've been slacking from the YouTube thing, but I've been grafting everywhere else. Whether it's just been a dad or it's been a boat fixer, upper, or I've been in the van. Been busy, so I'm trying to smash as many videos as I can so that I can schedule them all out and I can continue the uploads every other day. But this video is going to be about boat life versus van life, and I saw a thread on an alternative living page the other day, and people were saying, you know, which one do you prefer? Which one's better? So I'm going to give you my opinion on which one's better, or my opinion on both, and you can sort of decide from there which you think is better. So whilst I'm in the boat right now, I'll tell you about the merits of the boat life. So, I mean, the fact that it's a frigging boat is a merit in itself. Like, I'm so excited about owning a boat. That wins for me, and the novelty of owning a boat will never wear off. The boat is hooked up to electric, which makes a huge difference. I mean, the van had 240 and 12 volt electric from a leisure battery, but although I never really ran the leisure battery down, you were always sort of watching the gauge, thinking, oh, can I put my laptop on charge? I might have to run the engine a bit, or, you know, especially if you were staying in one spot for a few days, it was always a bit of a stress. But anyway, boat, it's hooked up to the electric. I've got a water point just outside here. I've got a decent mooring, a really good mooring actually, which is secure. It's gated. The jetty is gated, so nobody can get over here without a key, and that key is difficult to get hold of. So, you know, I'm in a gated community, which is, especially when you've got a child, is something special, something that you really need, and something I need to feel safe when I've got my daughter with me. Other things, so the boating community, for the most part up to now, all good. When I moved my boat the other day, there was a crowd of boaters waiting to catch the ropes and tie me down and everything, and it was tie the boat down, not me. It's not that kind of community. Waiting to tie the boat down and things like that. So, and now I'm surrounded by 16 boats. 16 boats around me, which I'm not sure how I feel about being so close to people. As you can see, there's somebody's window just there. I'm not sure how I really feel about that, but it is what it is. Whilst everybody's been nice and kind and everything, I'm happy with that, and that's good. So, obviously exploring the canal and rivers is super exciting. So exciting. I cannot wait to take this out somewhere, anywhere. I cannot wait for that. I cannot wait to just learn to drive it properly. It is more like a home than the van is. It has got a kitchen. I can sort of stand up in this a bit. Well, I can stand up in this. It just has a more comfortable feel. It's more like a small apartment than the van is. I know I've compared the van to a small apartment, but this is like a bit more like that. The nature, I mean, I am literally on the water. I've fed the fish and ducks this morning, which is really nice. This just has a more homely feel, I think. Now the downsides, really, that it's quite expensive, and actually it is less expensive than a house, and I do own it now. So less expensive than renting a house, sorry. And I do own it, which is a huge benefit, I suppose, but it is still expensive. In the van, I had barely any outgoings. I had no moorings, no insurance, no license, no electric, no water rates, no nothing like that. So, and here I do have those things. So it is costing me a lot more money. So I don't have the free cash that I had when I just lived in the van. So, the merits of van life, I mean, there are obviously a lot more roads than there are canals and rivers. So, you do have a bit more freedom, a freedom of movement where you want to go. As you may have seen in some of my other videos, some of the places where I've parked up in the van, just local, or fairly local, within an hour of where I lived, or where I was based, are stunning, such as the Peak District and all that. It's stunning. Obviously in the boat I'd struggle to get to Scotland and places like that, and then especially over into Europe. So the van is as far as movement goes is a much better option. There's no doubt about that. And price, I mean, all right, I've not got a cheap van particularly. But if you look at some other vans that some friends have got, like Stuart for example, paid about 1,500 quid for his van, and he can stand up in his, and he's got a kitchen and everything. So the right van really could be better than the right boat. It all depends on which boat and which van you buy, I guess. But van, being on the road, I would say would top the boat for a lot of reasons. Obviously, if you live in a van, you're not paying council tax, you're not paying, like I've already said, the moorings and all that kind of stuff, and you will have no outgoings apart from your car insurance and MOT and tax and all that kind of stuff. But that's relatively cheap. You're not paying rent, which is a big thing. So yeah, I would go, if I didn't have a child. Saying that, I do want I've always wanted a boat. Sorry, I've always wanted a boat. So the boat's amazing. But if I had to live in one permanently, if I had a bigger van, then I'd live in a van permanently, providing it was a bigger van and I could stand up in it. If I had a Sprinter, a long wheelbase Sprinter with a decent permanent bed and a cooker and sink and all that, then I would go with van, I think. But that don't think for 1 second I don't like living in a boat, because I mean, not a lot makes me smile, but that boat makes me smile from ear to ear, and it's so good. The novelty of that will never ever wear off. The novelty of having a boat will never ever wear off. But again, you know, this bloody fly in me, man. This van wasn't cheap, and as I've recently found out, it's not cheap to maintain either. So, but then again, had I not bought the boat, I'd have had more than enough for me to fix the van. But you know, it's one of them things. So, in answer to the question which this video is about, which is better, van or boat, the right van is way better than the right boat, in my opinion. However, for me right now, living on the boat is better than living in this van, because this van's too small. It's only a T5. It's although it's long wheelbase, it's a very short. It's very. I cannot stand up in it. I can barely even kneel up in it. And obviously, I have a child, and the boat, although I've got the risk of drowning, obviously, the boat is much better for the child. Now, some people may have a different opinion to me. That's fine. You're allowed a different opinion. This is just my opinion. But anyway, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you all soon. Bye bye.